Hey everyone, welcome to the next episode. As you can see, I left off exactly where I said I was going to leave off. Is this your doing, Link? You better fucking know it is. Yes, it was Link who helped me escape from the dungeon when I was captive. The wizard said, "Once I have finished with you, the final seal of the wise men will open." Link, you must not let the land of Hyrule fall into the wizard's clutches. If he releases the seal of the 7 wise men, power will overwhelm this land. Talk, 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 I don't care. Yes, I understand. On my way, old man. Excuse me. Excuse me. So I want to get back onto Breath of the Wild real quick. Again, this is going to be spoilers for those who haven't played it or beaten it, so I apologize in advance. But I'm going to talk about it anyways. I was in love with that game when it first came out. Like, I work night shift, so it came out on a Friday. I called into work that Friday when it came out. Played it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just vegged out, and I loved it. Didn't talk to anyone. I loved it. It was a wonderful night. It was a wonderful 3-day weekend. Don't get to do that very often, but whatever. The game was fantastic. I loved playing it. I actually beat all 120 shrines, got the Breath of the Wild's version of the green tunic, which is like a retrofitted tunic from the first Zelda game. Beat all 120 shrines. I only got about 90 or so of the Korok seeds. I didn't feel like getting all 900. That would just take too much time. So I had max health and the maximum amount of stamina that I could have. Oh, I was supposed to go there. Maximum amount of stamina that I could have left over from the shrines after I got max health. And I was excited. I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna go fight Calamity Ganon. This is gonna be awesome. Went in and was severely disappointed. Like, I loved every other aspect of that game. I was in love with it. But Calamity Ganon, he was just essentially a giant spider. Okay? And if you beat all 4 bosses, as soon as you enter the fight, they take away half of his health, like, immediately. It's just gone. So you're fighting him with half of his health. And then once you get down to a certain point, he starts glowing, and it's basically like an armor. I didn't know what to do about that, but Uberso's Fury, I think that's what it's called, it's the lightning storm. I just waited for that to recharge, and that just made him vulnerable, and then you could just go up there and wail on him with the Master Sword. I don't know the proper way to do it, but that's the way I did it. Probably should have read what she said. But that's the way I did it. And then, you know, you're teleported outside. You get the Bow of Light, or the Light Bow, whatever it's called. And it has 100 damage. 100 damage. Okay. So it does like 100 damage. And Ganondorf comes out and he takes his iconic, you know, pig beast form, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, I was starting to get excited because you're fighting him on horseback. And I thought it was going to be something like Twilight Princess. Now, Twilight Princess, I do enjoy that game. It could have been better. I fucked that up. It could have been better, but for what it was, it was pretty good. Right? I was expecting something along the lines of Twilight Princess. In Twilight Princess, when you fight Ganondorf, spoilers for a game that's 11 years old. Oh god, I'm old. Anyways, when you fight Ganondorf in Twilight Princess, he starts off by possessing Zelda's body, which is disgusting. Then after that, I believe he goes into his beast form, where he's the giant pig monster. And you can fight him that way. You fight him that way, then after you beat him that way, you're teleported outside, and then you have this really awesome, like, horseback, like, fight against him. Where you guys are basically jousting at each other, and you knock him off his horse. He knocks you off your horse, something along that line happens. And then the final part is a sword battle, where it's just straight on, like sword against sword, power against power, or power against courage. And then whenever you beat him, you just jam your sword through his chest, and he dies on his feet like a fucking man, you know? He's not someone to be tolerated with. With that being said, when I was playing Breath of the Wild, I was expecting something similar. So you're on your horseback, you're fighting against Ganon, the pig beast, and I thought, you know, after you beat him, like all that energy is going to, for lack of a better word, reincarnate Ganondorf. Like Ganondorf Drakmeyer, he was going to come back. But what it boiled down to was, use this bow and hit the glowy parts. And I'm not making that up. Zelda actually says that. She says something like, Link, I've weakened part of Ganon. Shoot the glowing parts that shoot the glowing parts that I'm using my power on to weaken him. And then you just ride around and you shoot glowing parts. Glowing parts, like, that's all Skyward Sword was just shoot the glowing part, hit the glowing part. I thought they steered away from that. No, they brought it back in a bad way. I can't pick that up yet. And then at the very end, you can either jump off Link's horse. I use that ability where you jump and hold the jump button and then you can fly up in the air. I used that, shot him in the face, and then he died. That's it. Just 2 fights. So not only did he not have any soul or any characteristic, anything like that, but it was just so underwhelming. Like the 4 optional bosses, and I will say they're optional because you don't technically have to fight them before you fight Ganon. But the 4 bosses were harder than that guy was. I made so many healing items. I got so many fairies. I was ready. And I only had to heal myself once. Because my dog distracted me. My dog distracted me. He looked out the window. He started growling. I thought he saw someone. And I looked away for a second. And then Spider Ganon got a hit on me. And I used a healing item. And that was it. Like this is my favorite video game franchise ever. Period. Like I went to an aviation school, and in the aviation school, we were talking about carbon fiber and fiberglass and epoxy and how you can repair aircraft using carbon fiber and a special blend of epoxy. Our instructor said, "Okay, we're gonna take some styrofoam. You can cut whatever shape you want, whatever design you want, but you have to layer it in carbon fiber and or fiberglass with the epoxy glue, and then we could see how hard and tough and resilient it really is." I made the Triforce which is really easy. You know, you just cut out 3 triangles. I spray painted it, or I put the carbon fiber on. I put the glue on, and then I spray painted it gold. And then I took gold glitter spray painted that. Whenever that was all dry, did another layer of epoxy. That way it was like shiny and laminated. And it's up on my fireplace mantle. It's really cool. But I made the Triforce. One of my friends, he bought me a Zelda shield for my birthday. My friend, another friend, and his girlfriend, they bought me a miniature shield and sword, which I have both of those things hanging up, or all 3 of those things hanging up on my wall. I have a Zelda wallet. I just have a lot of Zelda stuff. So yeah, I was pretty hyped whenever Breath of the Wild came out. And I don't know what they're doing, but it was a good start, but they are really ruining this amazing franchise that most of us have grown up on. And it's kind of sad. It's disappointing. But, you know, props to them for taking a chance, making an open world Zelda game. Being the first of its kind, you can't be too hard on it. You know, that's how things progress. You try, you fail, you try, succeed, but the parts that you fail at, you learn from it, you make it better, you make slow and steady progressions. And that's true in just about anything you do. You don't start off doing anything knowing everything. You know what I mean? So I am excited to see where Zelda's going to go from this point on. I'm always going to love it, except Skyward Sword. That one sucks. Although the fight with the Mize, that was pretty dope. But I'm excited to see where they're going to take this franchise. Hopefully the next one they'll learn from basically user feedback, player feedback, everything that we have to say about it. And with that being said, I'm going to cut this episode here. Next episode, we will begin in this dungeon. And hopefully I can get it done in one playthrough. If not, this might be a 2-part. Alright, I will see you guys on the next episode. See you later.